So if you know what's been going on with the Russia story, it's fast-moving Russia story. So now my theory, Malcolm, I don't know if you agreed with me on this, but my theory about this whole Russia thing, could Russia have been the people who hacked into John Podesta's email? Possibly. Could they not have been? Possibly, yes. In fact, probably not. Because if it was them, we would have evidence of it and they would be plastering it everywhere, okay? The fact that our intelligence agencies, which by the way, has every one of our texts and emails and phone calls, they somehow can't put this together. They were tapping Angela Merkel's phone, our ally. Our own intelligence agencies were tapping our allies' telephones. We can do that, but somehow we still can't go. So my whole thing is that the Democrats and the media were talking about the Russia thing to distract us from how horrible the media was in propping up Trump because they have responsibility for it. And the Clinton campaign and the neoliberals also were pumping up the Russia story because they didn't want to talk about what they did wrong. Because if they talked about what they did wrong, which was turn their back on workers and get in bed with corporations, which means there's no opposition party. So that's what they don't want to talk about that. So they'd rather talk about Russia, distract everybody. I said they were trying to get from election day to inauguration day without doing the autopsy on the Democratic Party, and God damn it, they made it. And here we're still doing it, right? So this thing with Flynn, the National Security Advisor Flynn, now, again, I think it's much to do about nothing, right? But it's a good substitute for substance. If you don't want to talk about substance or what's really it's a good substitute.
I equate it, you know those commercials they run for like easy listening stations where they say, it's the station everyone at work can agree on.
Yeah.
You know? It's not good for anybody. Nobody likes it, but everybody can agree. Let's talk about Russia because there's no downside to that for us. So for the media, for Democrats, yes, Russia, 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 because then they don't have to talk about the things that are a threat to them.
Yes.
It's sort of like, I equate it a little bit to Benghazi for the Republicans because there were all sorts of things that the Obama administration was doing that they could have been critical of, his kill list and habeas corpus and all these various things, but they agreed with all those things.
Right, the Republicans, you mean.
The Republicans, yes. So they had to latch onto something.
And like
Benghazi, which is what they latched onto because they had no culpability in Benghazi. They could only pin that on the Obama administration, even though it was all bullshit.
Right.
But at least all the Republicans could agree, yes, we're all foursquare against the administration, and we can keep hammering on this, and it doesn't hurt us at all.
And so you would equate this Russia scare, this Red scare. This is Red scare. That's what this is. You would equate this with the Benghazi.
Yes, it's our Benghazi.
Okay.
And because, as you point out, the evidence is scant.
Yes.
But we're beyond that.
Right.
We're not even, that's a done deal. It's sort of like during the lead up to the Iraq War when you could say, yes, Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction, but I still don't think we should go to war. You literally could not go on TV and say, I don't think he has weapons of mass destruction.
Right.
It turned out to be true, but it was not accepted. We were beyond that.
Right.
We all agreed. So at this point, we all agree Russia did it. Russia interfered in our elections, and we have to get to the bottom of it. And that's what we're going to use. That's the wedge we're going to use to get rid of Trump.
Right. So, and what Chomsky points out is that you're only allowed to disagree with the tactics of war. You're not allowed to disagree with the war. Hey, MSNBC just hired Megyn Kelly to make sure Santa Claus stays white. If you're sick of that kind of bullshit lefty corporatism from the news, support aggressive progressives right here at the Young Turks Network. You become a member for $10 a month. It gets you access to the whole show. We do an hour every week, and it gets you access to all the other member benefits at the Young Turks. Stick your thumb in the eye of the corporate news and become a member of TYT Network. Go to tytnetwork.com/join and find out what it's all about.